It's all over for EVs. A shocking new EV report revealed the EV market is crashing hard. The recent headlines about electric vehicles have been brutal. Sales are dropping, momentum is slipping, and consumers are souring on the technology. Tesla's stock plunged by $80 billion in just a week. What exactly is happening to EVs? Are EVs a scam? Let's find out. Car makers can't sell EVs and are losing billions of dollars. This new EV report tells exactly why EVs are not the future and why the EV market is crashing. 5 years ago, we did not have the array of EVs we have now. They account for 10% of the market. John Volker, an editor at Car and Driver, said, "The growth rate may flatten, but the cost of EVs will continue to come down." According to a new Consumer Reports, electric vehicles have nearly 80% more problems and are generally less reliable than cars propelled by conventional internal combustion engines. Plug-in hybrid electric vehicles have an even worse scorecard, with an average of almost 150% more problems, the Consumer Group found. By contrast, ordinary hybrid cars are a bright spot, with about a quarter fewer problems than gas-powered cars, the analysis found. The electric vehicle roadway has been bumpy lately. The battery supply chain has presented an expensive challenge to automakers. Both price and a lack of charging infrastructure have consumers holding off on making the EV switch. And in a price war led by Elon Musk's Tesla, the margins of EVs, an already largely unprofitable style of vehicle, are continuing to plummet. Amid this challenging environment, Toyota chairman Akio Toyoda said that people are finally seeing reality regarding EVs. Toyota's announcement came a day after General Motors and Honda canceled their proposed partnership to develop more affordable electric vehicles. The goal of the partnership was to create and sell EVs for less than $30,000 by 2027. But the EV environment isn't feeling as lucrative to automakers as it once did. After extensive studies and analysis, we have come to a mutual decision to discontinue the program. Each company remains committed to affordability in the EV market, GM spokesman Daryl Harrison said. Each company remains committed to affordability in the EV market. Consumer Reports' latest vehicle reliability report comes as car buyers can take advantage of a federal tax credit worth up to $7,500 for purchasing an EV and as automakers roll out a host of new models. But consumers have been slower to adapt to EVs than expected, partly because they're often more expensive to maintain than traditional vehicles and require extra equipment, such as a home electric charging port. This story is really one of growing pains, said Jake Fisher, Senior Director of Auto Testing at Consumer Reports. It's a story of just working out the bugs and the kinks of new technology. The findings are based on a survey of Consumer Report members about problems they've had with their vehicles in the prior year. The current report included data on more than 330,000 vehicles made between 2000 and 2023, with a few reports about new 2024 models. According to a new report from Consumer Reports, electric vehicles have nearly 80% more problems and are generally less reliable than cars propelled by conventional internal combustion engines. Caught in the middle are consumers who just want to save money on gas, but perhaps have fears about going fully electric or can't stomach the cost of EVs. EV owners most frequently reported troubles with battery and charging systems, as well as flaws in how the vehicle's body panels and interior parts fit together. Consumer Reports noted that EV manufacturers are still learning to make completely new power systems, and it suggested that as they do, the overall reliability of electric vehicles should improve. Still, Consumer Reports noted that lingering concerns about reliability will likely add to the issues that give many buyers pause when considering a switch to the technology, joining concerns about higher costs, a dearth of charging stations, and long charging times. Consumer Reports said PHEVs may have more problems than conventional cars and electric vehicles because they combine internal combustion engines with an electric drive, which creates additional complexity. That means there's more that can go wrong. Consumer Reports rates vehicles on 20 problem areas, ranging from squeaky brakes to EV charging problems, and it noted that PHEVs can experience every one of them. Even so, the study found that a few PHEVs outperform, with Consumer Reports finding that the Toyota RAV4 Prime and Kia Sportage score above average on reliability. 3 PHEVs, the BMW X5, Hyundai Tucson, and Ford Escape, earn average reliability scores, it added. You see, Tesla is nowhere nearby, causing a massive plummeting of their market. Investors see the sky-high returns from Tesla, which produces only electric cars, and want other car companies to follow suit. The right remedy would have been a more gradual transition to EVs through EVs hybridization. But looking at it from a financial perspective, those investors want you to be fully electric, forgetting the report. The two are working against each other. But even with that focus on the US market, makers of electric vehicles are entering the go-slow zone in battery investments. Analysts see the backslide as somewhat inevitable after the recent round of record-breaking labor contracts. GM and Ford expect those agreements will increase their per-vehicle costs by about $600 to $900. Analysts see risks to the growth of the still immature US battery cell ecosystem, which demands massive capital infusions. The cutbacks in EV spending will filter through the entire supply chain, said James Mills, principal consultant at battery research from Benchmark Minerals Intelligence. Critical minerals deals will slow down, impacting the growth of raw materials. Ford introduced plans for its flagship Michigan EV battery facility, which would create 800 jobs and spend more than $1 billion, cutting the facility's production capacity by 43%. That came after Ford postponed $12 billion in investments in EV manufacturing, out of a target of $50 billion by 2025. The moves include delaying the second Blue Oval SK battery plant in Glendale, KY. GM slowed the launch of new EVs and retooled a factory in Michigan. It also ended a plan to make affordable electric cars with Honda Motor. The company's EV delays will save at least $1.5 billion, a small portion of GM's $35 billion in targeted EV spending by 2025. Toyota Motor and Volkswagen similarly downsized their EV plans. Toyota cut its local EV sales forecast by 40% for 2024, due primarily to weakening demand in China. Volkswagen cut its EV production levels and canceled plans for a new $2 billion factory in Wolfsburg, Germany. Alla Kolesnikova, head of data for battery research firm Adamas Intelligence, says a pause may give all the players a better understanding of the market. Even before Ford and GM spending pullbacks, building a resilient North American EV battery chain was a multi-level challenge, according to Kolesnikova. The sourcing part of the equation is already lagging, she said. It was behind from the very beginning. The sourcing issue underscores the weakest link in the North American EV battery supply chain: critical materials. Reduced spending threatens efforts to accelerate the domestic mining and processing of the essential ingredients needed to build batteries, which include lithium, graphite, nickel, copper, and cobalt. The issue is now how to get sustainably sourced battery materials. For example, Kolesnikova says cobalt supplied from more transparent Canadian mines could be a viable alternative to the Democratic Republic of the Congo, where abuses in cobalt mining are widespread. In the meantime, the dilemma regarding supplies of cobalt and other materials has at least one clear beneficiary. The winner is China. China is the beating heart of the global battery chain. iBenchmark data shows that it commands a 70% share of the global output of battery cells. It is also home to 55% of the world's lithium processing capacity. That has made the US highly dependent on China for EV components and battery materials. President Joe Biden laid the groundwork for breaking that dependence with the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law in 2021 and the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022. The laws sought to promote Made in America electric vehicles. They offered billions of dollars in tax credits, grants, and loans to manufacturers and consumers based on domestic battery sourcing and manufacturing. Those funds and the requirements to attain them helped spur the battery belt boom of the past 2 years. Experts say, however, that 2024 may be the year to finally pull the plug on gasoline-powered cars and trucks. Is it? What do you think? Comment down your thoughts on the deteriorating EV market. And don't forget to share the video and hit the like button. For more Auto World updates, subscribe to the channel.